All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Yu Yu Hakusho, episode 71. It was indeed Genkai. All right.
Yep.
Makes sense. But then also, new psychics are awakening. These psychics have only been around for about a month.
Yep.
And someone might have done Sakio's plan of the portal, even though he's dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we've got some precedent for a new character of sorts that seems to be moving things in that direction. At the very least, at the ruins of the
Dark Tournament.
The Dark Tournament's Coliseum. And Genkai kind of used these boys to kind of pull like a little bit of a, hey boys, you need to take this seriously here.
Right, you won the Dark Tournament and that's cool and everything, but there are other powers out there that can take you by surprise.
Yeah, and in some ways Genkai might know a little bit more than she's letting on right now, because the idea of maybe new psychics being brought about in this way is something that to her is like a really seriously like scary precedent. And she's like, oh shit, okay, yeah, so like whatever the reason as to why she didn't bring this up like with the boys basically, or just use
probably as a way to show rather than tell them, right? It's let them experience just how one-sided territory can be. And now it's you need to know this shit.
Well, right. And also potentially a thing of where Genkai, was surprised by the nature of their abilities, where she's like, oh shit, like this is serious stuff.
Yeah, this is the level that psychics are awakening at. It's not with some, diddly little,
Yeah, I bend spoons or something. It's actually like, oh god, you're writing the laws of reality in a limited space with some kind of specific angle or focus. Oh shit, all it would take is, certain classifications of that to be able to have someone have godlike powers in a limited capacity. But even a limited capacity is terrifying.
Yeah.
So, okay, all right. Lots of dissing was thrown around because, the boys were being a bunch of dumbasses, even though Kurama did figure it out eventually.
Right.
We figured it out faster than Kurama, or... I'm sorry, I did.
Yeah, what can I say? The show likes twists to be Genkai.
That's
this
true.
is a lot better of a twist though than the previous Genkai twist.
That's true, yeah.
But yeah, now I'm very curious to see what they do with this new information, both with the whole territory thing, if any of our cast can learn territory stuff themselves, if territory is even something that can be like learned.
True.
But then also what they're just going to do about the fact that a bunch of psychics are showing up.
And then also what this new character taking the legacy of Sakio forward, and what information they have on that already.
Sure.
So yeah, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this.
You're wrong, old hag. If there were a hole out of this vile world, I would have taken it.
Getting you to believe me would be a pain in the ass. I'll let you see it yourself.
Enough suspense.
TA just nopes out of the story.
Moshiori City.
What? That close? That's like a Sunday afternoon drive from here.
Okay.
All right.
Is this where the OP is kind of getting a lot of its visuals from?
Oh yeah, I think so. Good catch.
Oh shit. Whoa.
All right.
Whoa. Lots of ghostly, spirity, nasty happenings here. Oh my god.
We know it's the greatest threat to humanity, and yet we didn't see this? Are we as dumb as my ogre monkey boy? Dumb as George Sayatome?
Sir, that's the first time you've ever used my name.
Shut up!
It's true, sir. There are times in human history when demons are more able to roam. But their people's next dark age is not scheduled for several more centuries.
Scheduled?
And not even those times have
Oh,
a hole
shit.
this big.
Photon, is Yusuke with you? It's an emergency!
God, the stereo sound
We're
is
all
amazing.
here, Koenma. Want to tell us about the border tunnel?
Genkai, I forgot I brought you back to life!
You're slow on the uptake this time. It seems whoever is doing this has used the typical lull after a tournament to catch even you off guard. In the last month, over 30 humans have come to me for help, suddenly finding themselves to have an assortment of supernatural powers.
Wow,
These two are prime examples.
Oh, here we go.
Everyone, here's
Class
how it
time.
goes down. There
All
are
right.
4 stages to such an apocalyptic breach.
Oh, apocalyptic.
Stage 1.
All right.
The energy thickens in the human world, allowing demon parasites to thrive.
Yeah, okay.
As the size of the breach increases, we move to stage 2, in which normal humans find themselves blessed with unusual powers. Now, stage 3 is where things really heat up. Demon energy floods the streets, and low-class monsters spawn at will. They aren't smart or strong, but they are excessively violent.
Okay.
In the 4th and final stage, the border tunnel breach achieves a stabilized diameter over 2 kilometers, allowing total passage.
Total passage.
Shit.
Yeah, just who do I have to fight?
All the demons in the upper level B class are the same strength as Toguro.
Toguro is just
Well, shit.
The demon world is an ancient land, and its depths are endless. In truth, there are vast parts of its territory that the spirit world has absolutely no control.
Okay.
It's literally like Rings of Hell.
Yeah.
Think of the demon world as a giant underground building, basement after basement, stretching downward into an infinite void.
Infinite.
All that, we only control half of the first basement.
Okay.
crappy ruler.
We cannot awake the anger of the A-class and S-class or super A-class demons who live at the bottom.
All right.
Not even my father and all his armies could defeat the S-class demons.
Shit.
Well, we just gave this story infinite depth
Yeah.
with a super dungeon.
Here's where the enemies come from.
We had to make priorities and stop the A and S-class demons above all else.
Okay.
Even our resources are limited. The only way to make a barrier large enough was to spread the energy into a net.
Ah,
I see.
meaning
Gotcha.
weaker.
While B-class demons can squeeze through, the larger A and S-class demons are held at bay.
Nice.
All right.
How could you sign off on a plan like
No,
this?
that
You intend
that
to
makes
sense.
sense
hundreds of
actually.
Demons like Toguro could just prance on over here whenever they want.
Because then
But you don't have stuff worse than
S-classes don't-
Toguro.
Yeah.
If just one S-class demon crossed into the living world,
End of the world. Yep. Yep. Millions dead.
Shit.
Jesus Christ, it'd be
All
berserk.
right. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Okay.
God, these designs are so horrifying.
Yeah, that's what we'd have to deal with.
Somebody please just tell me what you're talking about. Jeez, man, you know it's not my fault my powers aren't working right now. And I can't hear what Cohen was saying. We're a team, you know, and teams don't leave a pal in the dark.
Oh.
Just keep me in the loop.
And everyone's so grim.
Okay. Now I'm worried.
Oh.
Guys,
That was a
Yeah.
sweet little reminder there, but like
Oh, this guy.
shit. Spirit fish? I wonder if this guy inspired Krollo's design.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Ooh, oh.
Okay.
The tunnel going as planned.
Well.
Mr. Sensui, you must avenge us.
Soldiers take orders, not me.
Okay.
But, lucky for you, nothing can deny me the pleasure of this kill.
Ooh, I like his voice.
Say that.
Never satisfied, never full, they eat and destroy with grubby hands until nothing is left but piss. But now, the judgment of all humans has begun.
Shit.
Huh. And that's just halfway through the episode.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
a lot for the first half.
my life is just starting. There's still things I need to do.
Oh.
I need to marry a girl, grow my first mustache. But now you're telling me that someone's making a big hole so that pretty soon a whole bunch of demons just like Toguro can start attacking us all at once? And then there's the A and the S guys not even Spirit World can control. Has hope truly left us? Is this the end of everything?
Get over it. We'll talk about our plan in a minute. But
Okay.
I need to rescue Kaito first.
Oh, right, the bookworm. I forgot about him.
A full house. I take it everything went just as you planned, Master Genkai.
You played your part well. You lost, but it was a stirring introduction.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't playing along.
I'll
I
never
tried my
forget that
hardest to
face.
defeat you. For once, I wanted to see you lose.
Kaito's a risk taker. That's why these three came to me for help. He'd removed his own soul, and they didn't know how to put it back.
Oh,
The soul
damn.
is fragile without a body or ghost to protect it. In one full day, it would break apart.
It might not be fun. Oh, okay.
Finished calculating the growth rate on that tunnel, guys. It's bad.
What's our timeline?
As is, it will reach stage 4 in 3 weeks.
Phew.
3 weeks?
Woohoo! Oh, shit.
3 weeks. Even Toguro gave me more warning than that. And there was only one of him. There's gotta
Well.
be something we could do. Can't you, like, close the hole back up?
The only way is to stop the tunnel's creator.
Yeah.
This isn't a normal hole. It's not physical yet. It's a distortion in space-time, 1.3 kilometers wide. But once it hits 2 kilometers, it stabilizes, changing from energy conduit to a physical space. You don't use a drill to make a hole like this. You use a psychic nested at the center point.
Oh, so we know exactly
Oh,
where
okay. Cool.
So you
the
know
creator
where the
is.
guy is. And if he's beat down, we're all okay.
But we're literally entering his territory.
Yeah, yeah.
Gosh.
Not so fast, Yusuke.
You guys know the city, right? So then take me to that hole.
No. Yep. 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 Botan moving out of the way.
Is this beat bitchy day?
Here's a brilliant concept. Try learning from your mistakes.
Yep.
But I wouldn't give for a successor with a brain. You know how much trouble I went to planning this ordeal? The whole point of tonight was to teach you one thing. You cannot go into this without understanding your enemy's powers.
Right.
You will lose.
And you've gone deaf again. Koenma said we can't wait.
If the tunnel completes, we're doomed.
That still allows us 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And 3 questions to answer. How many fighters in their group? Who is their
Okay.
leader? And what's the true nature of their powers?
Yep. That.
Cool.
Without those answers, attacking
All right.
is suicide.
In what class do you rank me?
Ooh.
What? It's a fair question. If his
Ooh.
spirit world lackeys are going to place a letter on me, then I deserve to know.
That's fair.
Oh, very well.
With the Dragon of the Darkness Flame
As
absorbed.
I've said, the Toguro brothers were considered in upper B. And as of the end of the Dark Tournament,
You are lower B.
you were ranked in the middle of B class.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
Underestimate me even now?
For the record, when you fought Yusuke, you only had an upper D class ranking. But in less
Shit.
than a year, you've jumped up nearly 2 full classes. Quite an
Shit.
astounding feat, to be sure.
Yeah.
You have much to be proud of.
You're a child. Don't father me.
Come on.
You already have your fox, your clown, and your hag. I'm a moot point.
You're just gonna walk away?
This is your world to look after, not mine. I
Damn.
don't intend to hinder your cause, but I'm not going to help it either.
What about your sister?
Yeah, your sister lives in this world.
He'll come and rescue us at the end when we need him the most.
And he's gonna go train.
It's hard
Yep.
to predict what he'll do. Humanity's destruction was Hiei's former dream. These new developments leave him much to consider.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Maybe I should have told him he was in the upper B class. Or the special upper B class. That sounds good.
I need a new job.
Oh
we know
my
Blue Ogre's
God.
name.
Yeah.
We're all sleeping in this freaky house.
Yep.
But I didn't bring my
Sure.
special pillow.
You're-
Botan, would you pet my hair until I fall asleep? No,
Yukina wouldn't appreciate
I
that.
meant it in a mom kind of way.
What?
Mommy,
what was
Botan.
that?
That was
What
a
was
gift,
that?
probably from the dub creators. They're
Probably.
like,
I mean, it totally could have
just
been. There was
linger
no
on the
lips to
shot,
sync.
right?
Yeah.
How's it coming?
Oh shit. Oh.
Is the psychic that's generating it?
Mr. Sensui, we have an obstacle.
Tell me.
A Kakai barrier, so strong it's intoxicating. I can't break it. We need someone else, Mr. Sensui, someone with talent like my own.
Yeah.
So while I concentrate on the tunnel, they slice open the net. Then
Gotcha.
we can raise our glasses.
Someone who can break a Kakai barrier. Very well, I know people. I'll find your man. And in the meantime, I'll
all
start
right.
judgment on anyone who's in our way.
Shit, okay. He's got a squad, I like this.
Pooh?
Pooh. Oh.
You look
Can
horrible.
you snuggle me?
Yeah.
All right, let's go, Keiko. Nice, nice. Bringing her into the loop, okay. Just a brisk morning jog.
Yep.
I talked to Yusuke's mom. He never came home last night. And Pooh's acting really strange.
Yeah, Kazuma didn't come home either.
Kills me every
Yeah,
time.
every
I die
time.
inside.
If it's anything like usual, he should take us right to Yusuke and my bro.
Just say bro from now on, please.
Yep.
Oh, God.
Something wrong, Shizuru?
That's a nice way to put it. I just got an awful premonition, even worse than the tournament.
Worse than the tournament.
Yusuke.
What will happen? Find out next week on Yuu Yuu Hakusho.
Okay, cool. Nice.
Good to see your reflection. So we've learned the name of the villain.
Mm-hmm.
But more importantly,
The name of Blue Ogre!
the name of Blue Ogre!
Yes!
Indeed!
If Blue Ogre used 2% of his power, I'm pretty sure he could defeat the villain.
Yeah, I mean, isn't he like an original character
Yeah.
for like the anime? Like, so like
He
he's
just
outside
convinces-
of plot space and time. You
Exactly.
know?
He just convinces all his henchmen to unionize, you know? He's like, yeah, he's not appreciating you enough. You gotta
just-
band together and go on strike.
He just like JoJo torture dances into the territory. Like he just doesn't even fucking care. You know?
Oh, God.
God.
That kind of silly territory rules, I would absolutely love.
Right,
That would
right.
be so cool. You must dance in order to, like, beat the other
Move.
person or to move, yeah.
Yeah. So if you have some kind of attack form or what have you that requires a certain type of, hand
Right.
signal or movement or what have you,
You have to do it as a dance, yeah.
You have to do it
well,
in a
and
dance,
like,
yeah.
the cooler your dance is, the faster you can move. So if it's a terrible dance, and then you move really slowly.
That's amazing. Wow.
Okay.
Holy world building, Batman. We now know quite a bit about the demon world.
Yeah.
And also we now realize how little we know about the demon world
Right.
and what's coming.
Yeah.
Just saying we have an infinite dungeon. We have a 4-stage apocalyptic event on the
Right.
horizon.
Tagashi
And we have
was-
an event horizon, like,
Yeah.
like
Tagashi basically looked at the thing of like power escalation in shonen anime, and Toguro was awesome. How do I top that? I could answer that question once, like as a temporary thing, or I could make sure that question is answered forever.
Yep.
I'm gonna make it answered forever.
Because that's just smart.
Yep, exactly.
So he answers it forever.
There you go.
I really like this because one of the things that was very much implied to suggest that this is just the way things are is the fact that Koenma has a father, which means that Toguro is not the strongest demon.
Nope.
We just know that has to be the way things are.
But apparently, oh God, there are demons that even Spirit World and King Yama and all of them would not be able to deal with. And I appreciate that that's something that's brought up, because while our main characters are the ones that primarily deal with this stuff because they're the boots on the ground people.
Right.
It is something that is good to know of whether or not, like, if we fail, could we get bailed out of this by,
Yeah, higher powers.
higher powers coming in and saving the day. Apparently not.
Yeah, which Koenma represents that. And in a storytelling sense, if you want to give your characters, the main characters, the most amount of agency, you have to have a point where in your fantasy storyline, they begin to be worthy enough to take the hard battles for the mentor, the establishment's basically power system.
Right.
And right now, Koenma doesn't basically go out too much anyway.
Nope.
So it makes sense that, Yusuke would be called upon a lot. And given that all the problems are on Earth primarily, or Earth's problems, it makes sense that Yusuke and company are required to help with a lot of this. But we had our first instance of where, hey, this is Earth's problem. So Hiei is like, nah, I'm going to leave.
Yep.
And I really like this because on some level, he is the lone wolf. So having him go out and act on his own, I think is actually going to lead to some really clever ways in which he can help them.
Yep.
But we've also potentially foreshadowed a thing as to why Hiei could be brought back into things, but in a clever twist on the villain's side, maybe temporarily or something, because they need someone who can break open the Kakai barrier, but also the effect that they used for how the net would be broken very much was like a sword slash of sorts.
Yes. But on top of that, it's something where Hiei is basically a ninja, so if you're wanting to gather intel on what the enemy can do, he's probably the best suited out of anybody other than maybe Genkai to figure out what's going on. So
and just don't send anybody with him.
Right.
Just slow him down. Let him do his thing.
But it's also something that I really appreciate because while Nakama-ing, previous enemies is something that is very effective as a story beat mechanic and trope and all of that. Hiei was trying to bring an end to the humans.
Right.
So...
And he's been kind of just tolerating the fact that he has to deal with all this bullshit.
Right.
But...
So it's important, like, I like that Togashi is taking the approach of, no, this isn't just completely rewriting Hiei as a person where we can't see the connection point between the person that he was introduced as and the person that he is now.
Yep.
He still doesn't necessarily care about humans too much, right? So that is And while it could just be the fact that Hiei is a huge tsundere, right?
Yeah, a huge
Because he absolutely is.
Yep.
That is something that he needs to deal with, right? Yep. So, okay, cool.
He's an actual three-dimensional character.
Yep.
He doesn't just get written around the plot setup here or whatever the main character says he just does,
Exactly.
So there we go.
Even though we do have that like wink and a nod kind of a thing of it being like, come on, no, this is Hiei. Of course he's gonna come back and help us at the last minute or something.
Right, exactly.
Right? But
he's also theoretically a little bit pouty over the fact that he's now about to be in a dynamic environment where people are much stronger than him, and not only that, he's kind of nursing the pride wound of Genkai, not only calling him short, but also stupid AF, because in terms of the fight that's coming up, his raw, just overwhelming power, which is how he won the dark tournament side of things,
isn't going to
is
work.
Literally like not going to work here. And that's also a clever thing for Togashi, now that I'm kind of thinking about this, to realize, Hiei was the one that actually went through the biggest power up in terms of the display of what he can do other than Yusuke.
Sure.
And having that be something that's literally addressed by him being like, hey,
what do I rank
as? And you were a D rank.
Right. You're below average now, but you used to be don't come home. So, you're doing a lot better.
Right. In some ways, that's actually interesting. Hiei is kind of actually above average, I would say. Because
I'm making a joke.
I know your joke.
Because, that whole joke, but then also Hiei just having, hyper unrealistic expectations of like, I must be the strongest, most big dickest Giga Chad ever. I'm not. Oh, you're saying that I'm only just under Togoro's level? Ugh. Can't believe you, Koenma. How could you do something like this?
Basic bitch, but you're the one that asked Hiei.
Right, it's one of those things where it's like, yes, it's a wonderful nod to like the people the fans that want to get into like the power levels and stuff, but at the same time, Hiei, if you didn't actually care and you thought that his rating system was bullshit, why did you ask? like it's the I ask just in case you say that my dick is very awesome and big, but if you say that it's not the biggest, then it's like, oh well, I mean that's stupid anyways.
I can hear the echo of like cringy Goku stands like somewhere like way off in the distance there. But anyhow, Genkai, it really makes sense now why Genkai established all this, because there were a few things that are really important for this arc moving forward here, and that is that they know exactly where the demon portal is opening. They know exactly where the psychic
not the
not the actual main antagonist,
Mhm.
it seems,
Yep.
is opening the demon portal.
Right.
And we also know that this psychic is not capable of doing the whole thing themselves.
Right, they're not capable of destroying the barrier.
Which is crazy cool, because I love seeing antagonists struggle at their goals, because then that means on some level that we don't know whether or not every single part of it is going to succeed. One of
Right.
the things that is really, and I mean really painfully obvious once you've consumed enough stories in this regard, is that when the fantastical villain never struggles at their goal, means you kind of know that they're going to succeed all the way up until the point
where they all of a sudden fail for some reason,
Where they all of a
because
sudden
those
fail for some
darn
reason.
kids,
Yep,
right?
exactly.
And that can because the thing is that most of the time, unless you can figure out how to manage to pull off the thing of the villain winning even though they lose,
Right,
which
right.
is a ton of fun.
It's
if that
a ton
happens
of fun
in
if you
stories.
can do that,
But
yes.
but most of the time, the villain is going to lose, right?
Mhm.
So the question is how do you do that in a way that feels satisfying? Well,
Right.
if you make it so that we kind of root for the villain, not because of their motivations
Just because
necessarily,
we see
although
them
that's good
struggling
too,
a little bit.
but we see them actually working hard on it, and
Mhm.
trying to overcome little obstacles and things. That's fun.
Yeah,
Like,
another Togashi example of where the villain was actually one we were rooting for tremendously was Hisoka in the
Right.
York New arc.
Right, because
it's a great
he's-
example of him being an antagonist,
But
but
he's
he's
also-
working with Kurapika.
right, he's an
and
antagonist
he's also
that's an
working
antagonist to the
against Crollo, and it
Yeah.
there's
Great fun.
Yeah, there's multiple examples of Togashi doing this in a really cool way.
Mhm.
I mean, especially in the Chimera Ant arc with Meruem and all that. But just in this show, having already in the very beginning of introducing one of the main plot MacGuffin characters, in that this psychic kind of exists only at this point to do the thing, and
Right.
because we've separated his character from seemingly the main antagonist,
Mhm.
we now have ways in which our antagonist that is Sensui or Sensui or whatever,
Oh yeah,
whatever we're calling him.
Our
'cause
pronunciation of some of the names
might be off.
because we have to.
we live in the world of Kazuma.
We live in the world of Kazuma, and so
So
we need
bear
to
with us.
reverse engineer a bit. So if we're wrong,
just
please,
tell us.
Please let us know.
Yeah, we'll adjust.
You
yeah.
know, so.
But anyways, Sensui or Sensui or whatever, he has a crew,
right?
And they're on a mission. Like they
Mhm.
want, like
Yeah.
he wants to judge humanity, but this guy is just doing the thing to open the
Right, because that's his job.
Yeah, so
and,
it's like,
and I
oh,
and I
cool.
believe that his name is Itsuki.
Itsuki, yeah.
But so it does feel like a little like evolution progression to Crollo, kind of.
Sure.
If you start with the guy from the previous arc, I forget his name.
Oh yeah, the brother.
No, not the brother. The black haired guy that was running everything.
Sakio.
Sakio, thank you. How did I forget that? But with Sakio, and then we're thinking Sakio is going to be the villain of the next arc because of the whole thing of the portal, right? But no, it's not actually Sakio, but it's someone who is still trying to achieve Sakio's goal, but for different reasons.
Because maybe Sakio was already like starting a bunch
Right.
of things with that, and
But has a lot of the fun things that Sakio had as an antagonist, in that, well, yes, we've seen in the OP that he has some kinds of powers or whatever.
They throw some energy blasts
Right.
at them.
It's not necessarily about the single Terminator beefcake Toguro, right? It's about having the people alongside you that basically respect you and believe in you enough to follow you, right? And then the more you build up your subordinates, then the more you build up the leader by proxy, right?
Sure.
So then that feels like that middle ground step from there then to Crollo, and it's like, I like it.
Yeah, I like it too. Yeah, we have a troop that's following him. They're silhouettes only, so phantoms, if you will.
Phantoms in the shadows. Yeah.
Uh-huh. And if they all have some kind of territory-based psychic ability, and they overlap their abilities together to do some really defensive shenanigans, one of my favorite things in shonens is when you have the let's go invade the antagonist's base of operations rather than the oh no, the antagonists are going to show up, we must defend.
And I feel like the invading the antagonist base of operations is something that does happen quite a bit, right? You know, it's the
it does.
Raid the dungeon to, do the thing or whatever. But most of the time The dungeon doesn't feel like a dungeon.
Right.
It's just like, I don't know, maybe I'm
It's
drawing
just
from bad examples, but
no, it's generally just an excuse to split the party and have a bunch of one-on-one fights.
Right.
That's cool and all.
You can still have that be the end result, right? But something like this where Genkai's like, no, did you learn nothing? You had to be exposited to of what the rules of the territory was in order to win against these high schoolers or you know, these kids, these junior hires,
basically.
right? So against actual baddies and stuff where you're going into their home turf
have
and everything.
literally nothing that means they would tell you anything.
Exactly. You would be fucked, right?
Yeah.
Like, have you not been listening? So doing actual reconnaissance. Like
yes.
that feels it tickles the same kind of bone that got scratched in the I'm going to keep spoilers out of this, but in the rescue arc of One Piece, right? Where military tactics were used and it was very terrifying and cool, right? This feels like that, but instead of during like a big battle, it's in the setup. And setup is a great way to make me invested in those one-on-one fights that we end up getting.
Right.
Because if we end up being able to see all of like it's the planning of the invasion of the Chimera Ant, you know, like base, you know, right? The reason that everything going so specifically like in tuned and all right, this was 3 minutes of, you know, like breaching the gates or whatever meant so much is because we got to see them planning and being like, all right, you go here, you'll do this, you know. So
and then we got to see also the struggle of the ants on the other side of things as they're dealing with the drama and the awakening of the human within Meruem. So it was a really interesting thing to see. Almost a going back in time to a Togashi of yesteryear, where this is like there's so many pieces of things that we've seen in Hunter x Hunter that are in Yu Yu Hakusho here, and we're like, ooh, how did he experiment with this first? You know? Like, well, how did he play around with these kinds of writing structures? Because in some ways, it really does feel like at this point that Yu Yu Hakusho was the thing that he wrote to basically get his foot in the door, and then Hunter x Hunter was the actual thing that he wanted to create all along.
The more artiste piece.
Right, exactly, where he has, way more freedom and way less ruled by convention.
One of the things that I'm curious to see, this doesn't have to happen, but given that territory is now a thing in Yu Yu Hakusho, and it wasn't really before, like, it existed in the universe, but we didn't know about it, like, you know.
Yeah, it's a new power system.
Right. It's kind of a new power system.
It's a subset of psychic stuff, so it's fine, yeah.
But given that we had the thing of the boys going to Genkai because the one dude had already lost his soul
by breaking his own rule.
Because he's just, what would happen if that happened? It's like, oh yeah, that's good to know, and that's what brought them there. That means that it wasn't entirely something of Genkai teaching them how to use the abilities once they just get general psychic energy. They had these abilities to an extent, and that
they had the rules even.
They had the rules even, and that makes me wonder. Is it possible for Yusuke and Ko to also get territory? Because if they don't have territory, then they're kind of like they're using an old power system to compete with a new power system.
It's
you know,
Hamon users trying to fight stand users.
Right, exactly. And I'm sure Togashi could totally do that, since most of the time it'll be about them overcoming the mind games and sussing things out of their opponent's territory.
Sure.
Right. But given that people are awakening powers and stuff, if they end up spending a lot of time in that other town to investigate and things, theoretically, if Togashi wanted this to happen, they could start just developing territory of their own. And given that one person in particular doesn't have any powers right now, I would love to see Kuwabara develop territory.
And his territory is 1 meter around me. It's called the power of love. If my babe, Yukina, is within 1 meter of me, I cannot be defeated.
Right. My pompadour is my power.
My power and my territory.
Right.
If my pompadour, it's Samson
It is
rules.
a sovereign entity that cannot be violated by anything.
Or like, if my pompadour is not cut, I will continue to grow in power, equal and proportionate to the length and girth of my hefty.
His pompadour just overwrites other territory, right? So he just touches his pompadour to things and the territory goes away.
Oh my god. I would just love it to be a thing where Yusuke's territory is in his right hand's index finger. And it's just that, I have an inverse law proportionate to the distance traveled of my energy increases the strength of my energy, meaning that I can snipe you from a mile away as long as the energy that passes through here does not meet another solid object.
That would be the ultimate Togashi twist, actually, now that I think about it. Because Togashi loves to set up rules that are, like, super complicated and stuff, and then have,
explain them in a very simple way.
Well, no. Have something that breaks those rules.
Right.
Occasionally, in very specific instances for, like, narrative impact and rule of cool and stuff,
in ways that make sense.
In ways that make sense, right?
Yeah.
You know, things like Kurapika, you know, the way that she does that one fight. Damn it! It's been years and I still make that mistake. The way that Kurapika does that one fight that is very particular that he needs to win.
Episode 47.
Right, exactly. That kind of breaks some of the rules that Togashi had set up, but, you know, it worked, right?
Right.
And so, you know, if we end up getting something like that, where then it's like, no, my territory, I just make it be my own body, and then I have perfect control over my body, and then you're back into a Toguro situation.
I mean, that's
fresh and different.
That's possible.
Cool.
I want to bring up the thing that I've been just feeling this whole show just in general, and they did it again in this exposition bit, is that Demon Portal means humans getting powers.
Yes.
Why?
That is
why.
Yeah. Well, because you need to have people to fight the demons, Caleb.
But that's the thing, though. The thing, though. If there's spirit, you know, energy, right? What's the difference between the spirit world and the demon world, then?
Time. Like theoretically, like with the stuff that we saw, that chilling whole sequence of like the demon apocalypse and everything.
Yeah, the end of the world, basically. The eclipse on steroids.
Right. You could see that basically just being the demons terraforming, in a sense.
Oh, sure.
The human world to be like their world.
Totally.
Right? And then the two are joined. They expand their territory, you know, and then, you know, and then it's like, okay, that's how it is. And I would love to see an arc of Yu Yu Hakusho where it's like post-apocalyptic, like, oh shit, everything went to hell. And now it's like, what do we do?
Yeah. What if, just a really crazy theory here. So we have infinite dungeon of the demons, right?
Right. What's at the bottom of the abyss?
Well, no. This is something that I feel like is rather obvious, but it's the kind of thing that Togashi would absolutely follow up on, and some people would just not think about. But if you think about it geometrically, what is the shape of the demon world then? What is the geometric shape? It's a cylinder.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a like he said, it's like a building. It's a long, tall. It could you could say it's a cubic rectangle or what have you, but
some sort of Tower of the Gods or something.
Yeah, exactly. But then one of the things that's implied by that is that demons don't go out horizontally.
Right.
Why is that?
What comprises the walls of like the demon world?
Well, basically saying that the laws of reality and the walls of whatever that is don't, like, basically they're not relevant for the story, right? So then, logically speaking, where is Earth?
At the top.
Which could make Earth just an original upper floor of the demon world.
Sure.
Which the human world was not actually originally just the domain of people.
Who says that
it was actually the first place that the spirit world conquered?
No, I like
from
it.
the demon world.
No, yeah, and maybe then there's one above the human world. You know, like
well, that could be the thing. Is that spirit world could be above that. The earth and what have you could be below that.
Right.
And then the next level above it is the front lines, if you will, of spirit world's war against the demon world.
I like it. Like because one of the other things, and this is a meta detail, right? That does not need to be explained away because it's part of you just go with it.
Sure.
But if they're fighting these demons, why are the demons oftentimes looking like people? Well, it's because it'd be kind of weird if one of the main characters in our story was some tentacle monster with eyes and a billion mouths and stuff.
If was not
some Cthulhu
humanoid,
thing, right?
But yes,
it'd be harder
for people to like him.
Exactly.
Yep, marketing. Yep.
But that doesn't always necessarily make sense within the rules that are set up within the world, unless it's just, oh, demons can transform or whatever.
Which is actually a part of the world.
Which is
like,
something that we have in here, but Hiei doesn't transform anymore, right? So then it's, what's the deal? Then the demons start to look like humans. Is that just the convenience of
wink,
the
wink.
structure of the story, or is it something that could be some world building?
Yeah. And with
Also,
Tagashi, I would almost always assume that there is actually a place in which he's thought of this angle.
He sets something up that seems innocuous and then figures out how to turn it on its head.
Right, because in some ways, my favorite thing about Tagashi is that there's this feeling when you enter his worlds of, oh, he's thought of that. He's thought of that. Like one of my favorite examples is basically when you see a lot of the ways in which the Phantom Troop fight, and then in a lot of the ways how specific characters in the Chimera Ant arc basically like interact with each other or something like that. There's ways in which you're like, oh, wouldn't it make sense for then they do exactly that, and you're like, you're not ruled by the convention of this can't happen because it would ruin the story or what have you. You just had it happen because it would logically make sense to happen.
Like a certain attempt or a certain tool that was used to combat an apocalyptic swarm. What would it make sense for humans to try and do? Well, yeah.
But either way, we've got our antagonists. They've got a squad that we haven't met yet. We've got an expedition for reconnaissance coming up. And we have a new arc. In some ways, the intro arc was, kind of a thing of Tagashi needing to kind of awkwardly exposit to us the rules of territory,
Yeah, exactly.
But that's okay because now, I'm hyper invested in the, this is what's going on.
But also,
gotcha, we understand the stakes. Yeah.
Can you imagine how odd that would feel if we had effectively that same kind of arc, but they weren't actually working for Genkai, so they just decide to teach our characters this new power system in the middle of fights for, basically no reason.
Or if they just don't do it at all, and then Genkai has to kind of be there commenting on fights from the sidelines of, God, I can already feel Tagashi like
no, I must avoid that. Yeah,
I hate that. I hate that so much.
It really does feel sometimes like Tagashi. A lot of his favorite things to do in stories come from a place of like, it always bugged me when an anime would do this. It's like Genkai needing to remind Yusuke again. No, they're not going to explain to you how their territory works, dumbass. That's stupid. Yes, it is.
Because Yu Yu Hakusho, is not new. It's been around for a while.
Right.
And this is something that he was talking about back then when literally for probably, I think, a good 20 years, even in recent shonen anime, they're still explaining their abilities.
Well, see, no, now they just cover for it by being like, no. The abilities actually get stronger if you tell the other person about it, and then it's like, oh, okay, that's a fun,
Yeah, but that's poking fun at it in the, the
right. We've got to do this, so right, yeah.
But all right, here we are.
Mm-hmm.
We're having the classic fantasy portal plot line.
Yes.
Let's
now you're thinking with portals, and also. The commentary this episode was on point. Not just learning Blue Ogre's name, George whatever, which is fantastic, by the way, but also that bit with Kuwabara being like, hey, I don't have my special pillow. Okay, Botan, will you pat my hair as I fall asleep?
And she's like, what would Yukina think? And he's
like no,
in a mommy kind of way. But then also, Kuwabara's sweet moment of commentary is, hey guys, I can't use my powers right now, so I can't see or hear Koenma.
With him in a black background as he's just freaking out of like, no, I like my life. I don't like
right. But at the point where he's feeling everyone's dread, but he has literally no idea of what Koenma is saying.
Right. Yeah, I know. That like that was one of those things where it's like, yes, it's done for comedy, you know, a bit, and
not entirely.
But it's like, oh no, I'm taking that pretty seriously. Like that's some that's some heavy stuff.
That's some heavy stuff. So yeah. Y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access. You can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
We stream every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yes, if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
next time.